All right, folks, how you doing? Russell, TrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. Mind, Body, Spirit, Fitness. Putting the healing back in health. Follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, the podcast. All those links are down below. So, all right, True Crew, coming at you today with the difference between jealousy and envy, right? Because in reality, there's not really, there is something wrong with being jealous, but once again, envy is that one of those deadly sins, right? So that's what we need to distinguish the difference. And I think the difference, as well as I was just getting set up for this video, I thought of something as well. We've got to understand that, right? Jealousy is more of like you're jealous because you want that, right? Because we got to have this major distinction. There is a distinction between the two. So jealousy is wanting that, and there's nothing wrong with wanting more, right? And the reason why this is that big distinction between the two, because you can have jealousy in your life for like your group of people, your circle, right? Your family, of wanting more. Like I want my mother to want more, for retirement. I want my son to want more in life. That's that same thing where people say, I want my child to have more than I had. Right? That's that jealousy type thing. I want them to have more than I have. But once again, that's a good thing because you're wanting something better for someone else, right? So you can be jealous in that sense of your group, a circle. You want your group to have more. But jealousy is just wanting more, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? We all want more of something, right? But what I've always heard it said best too is there's nothing wrong with consumerism. Just make sure that you're not being consumed. Right? So it doesn't matter if you want more, but if we're wanting more for a higher status, then there's something wrong with that, right? I want to be cool, and if I have this car, then I'll be cool. Well, then yes, then there's something wrong with that. But in reality, jealousy is just they want that, so I want that as well. And in reality, there is a difference, and they can go both ways. But in reality, jealousy is not always a bad thing. But it can have its negative traits, which can lead you down the road of sin, right? That jealousy is flirting with envy. Because I think if I made a podcast on it. So check out the podcast where I talk about the 7 deadly sins. And I think jealousy, I can't remember if they call it the sister or a daughter sin. So it's those little sins that if you don't control them and use them right, they can turn into the sin that'll take you there. But what is envy then? Envy is, and this is the story I heard. I was listening to a Catholic podcast by Jeff Cavins, and this is where this came up. This is the story he talked about. I guess he said this is like an ancient Jewish story, and I'd never heard of it. And the story was really good. So a genie comes into a store clerk, right? And he says, I will give you anything that you want, but just understand that whatever I give you, I'm going to give your competitor across the street double that. He said, I'll be back in a day, think it over, and I'll give you what you want. So, day goes by, the store clerk sitting there thinking. Next day, Genie comes back. He's like, all right, have you decided what you want? He said, yes, I've decided exactly what I want. And he goes, well, remember that whatever I give you, I'm going to give double to your competitor across the street. He's like, oh yeah, I totally understand that. He's like, all right, what do you want? I want you to take out one of my eyes. And knowing that means he's going to go over to his competition and rip out both of his eyes, right? So once again, that envious is where you're upset that someone's doing better and you wish negativity upon them. Why are they successful? That's bull. That should be me. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So it's that, what was the other saying I heard? It was, it is being happy when someone is mourning and mourning when someone is happy. Right? So that's that downfall of jealousy versus envy. Envy is you literally wish that person didn't get the success that they had, and you wish that something negative would have happened to them. Jealousy is just saying, I want more. And that's where we can harness these things. Like I made a video called Why I'm Proud to be Catholic. And then I always get back on my comments like, oh, pride is a deadly sin. Well, that's like saying, okay, so it's wrong for me to be proud of my son if I don't have children, but it's wrong for me to be proud that my son gets good grades. It's wrong for me to be proud that my mother's able to retire and live a good life. Well, no, right? Because there's ways that we can distort these lifestyles or these thought processes that will lead us to or down the wrong road, right? But there's nothing wrong with being proud of something, right? We've got to understand that there's nothing wrong with being proud of something. Just like in the Catholic faith, we talk about you must have faith and works, right? But you must not have that hidden meaning behind the works, right? You shouldn't be doing something because, oh, if I do this, God will be happy. No, you're doing it because it's the right thing to do. You donate money, your time, whatever it is, to the church, to causes, to helping young kids because you know that it holds value and it's something great to do. Right? You don't do it because hopefully God's going to reward me. No, that's not why you do it. And once you understand that, then you're on the right path. Or people will say, oh, well, that's what you believe. And a rebuttal for a Catholic then would be, well, what if I go to church and I do my whole thing for 10 years and then all of a sudden I decide I don't want to be Christian no more? Oh, well, you're not saved. Well, then what? How was I saved? Well, I was saved for that 10 years and then I'm not saved? Or was I never saved to begin with? Oh, that person was never saved to begin with. They were living a lie. That's what we believe as Catholics as well. If that work does not have the intention of building up the kingdom of God behind it, that work has to be selfless. Has to do nothing with the self. It has to be a selfless act of love. That's what that charity is. A selfless act of love. And if that's what it is, then that work is a true work, right? But anyway, so there you go. Jealousy, envy, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting more in life. There are times where we're going to have to be content and understand that might not be a part of God's plan. And in reality, there's that same concept of, life is darkest right before the sunrise. So you might be about to get there and you just give up. So you've got to understand that sometimes you have to push a little bit further. And sometimes you have to understand when just to say, I'm done and move on. But envy is wanting and being upset that someone got something else and you wish negativity upon that person. And that is truly a deadly sin. So, once again, I hope this helps, True Crew. I hope it gives you something to think about, food for thought on your spiritual journey, on your journey of fitness, on your journey of self. Don't forget to follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. The podcast is out there. Subscribe to this channel. Share and like these videos.